Hello, hello. 9 o'clock already, you guys. Who was on the 8 o'clock call? Who heard Tristan? Who heard from Tristan and Hillary? Full wellness January sprint. I love it. The activity tracker, just awesome. Chava, of course you were. Of course you were, girlfriend. Hi, Ann. How are you, doll? Susan, Stacy. Good to see you guys. All right. You want to, if you don't mind, pop out a message. Just say a bestie, a group, let them know, hey, we're jumping on. I know the 8 o'clock calls, it's tough. I want to make an announcement, and I know Lauren is doing our call tonight. She has a great thing planned. I'm going to get us open though. But I'll tell you, as people are jumping on here, we're going to make this announcement. But with these corporate calls being at 8 o'clock every Monday night in January, and Hillary and Tristan are they not awesome? The value is so good.
I know that's why you were.
So with them being on at 8 o'clock, what we're going to do for January, the rest of the weeks, is we're going to move our team call just to a quick warm up, huddle up, 7:30 little sprint call, and then you can pop right into the 8 o'clock corporate call. We're going to move it to 7:30 Eastern time. I think, and we're going to trial that and see how people like it. I know for some of you guys in different times, we want to really just feel like, hey, what does that feel like for people to just do that early, those early times? So 7:30, if you're just jumping on, 7:30, kind of a warm up, just our groups, just a smaller, more intimate call. And then 8 o'clock, jump on with Hillary and Tristan for their January training. All right, let me go over a couple others. So that's just a team call announcement. But we have a huge day tomorrow. Set your alarms for noon Eastern time tomorrow because the Hokey Pokey Shake launches. Some of you have been in Isagenix. Drop a comment if you've had Hokey Pokey before, but it is an absolute crowd favorite. People love it. It is a vanilla honey, just a little bit more sweetness. I mean, it's sold out before in like a hot second. I know so many people are excited about that. The other thing that I'm super excited about, and I was talking to Lisa today about this, Lisa Pennypacker, we were talking about the protein crackers, really like a traditional cracker yumminess loaded with protein, amazing snack. A lot of us got to sample those at Celebration, delicious. The other thing we got to sample, which I'm super excited about, is the chocolate sea salt snack bites. You're going to love them. Just the perfect blend of sweet and salty. And then the Knox rebrand. If you've ever heard Jimmy Smith talk about the importance of nitric oxide, cardiac health, and just what the value of that product. So Knox is coming out with some marketing materials to really support the value of that product. Because frankly, it's been this unsung hero. So that is tomorrow at noon. Let your current customers know. There's some great stories to put up about it. I'm super excited for that. Of course, the Double Your PIB promo goes strong and it goes through March 30th, you guys. 40% commission. Does everybody hear about this? The double commission when you introduce people to Isagenix. So here's what happens. In the same commission week, Monday through Sunday at midnight Eastern time, if you have two or more people who jump in with a 30-day system, that could be a 30-day reset, a premium pack, a value pack, an ultimate pack. Isagenix doubles your commission for all packs. So let's just say, for round numbers, let's just say that somebody's buying three. I think I got someone started on a premium pack today. It was $355. Let's just say normally it's about $400. So $400. So I have two girls. I have one girl already completed the premium pack link. One's out, and she'll probably get to it tonight. $400. I'll get 80. No, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? I'll get $160 per person. I'd get 80 if it was just a regular, if we're just doing our regular commission, $160 a person. Two people is $320, you guys. I mean, that's just crazy. 40% commission, it's unheard of. My gosh, when I think about it, I worked at Nordstrom 4 years in college. My department had the highest percent commission in the whole store. Everybody got 6% except my department, children's shoes, we got 13%. 6% commission was like a big deal. 13% was like blow your mind. This is a 40% of what you help people get started in January, a booming month. Lauren told me yesterday she had just been on her seventh enrollment for the week. The other thing I'm going to talk to you about, make sure you know about, is the Kickstart 90 registration ends in just a couple days. So that is like the rebranded Ice of Body cash prizes, swag, more up for grabs. Go in the contest and promotions tab in your back office, sign up for that by January the 12th, and you'll get that. So just a lot of things coming. But if you're just jumping on, new team call time for the month of January, 7:30 huddle up, 8, that's Eastern time, 8 o'clock call with Tristan and Hillary Eastern time. We're trialing this just for this month while we do the corporate calls. I want to do some recognition quickly. I want to talk about Dreamers in Action. Laura, and Keisa Maxwell crushing it last week. A big week for so many people. Top enrollers, Kelly Ibanez, Erica Rothenberger, Holly Kirsch, Laura Armando, Lisa Pennypacker, Anna Jim White, Ashley Chico, Barb Kernan, all had 3 to 10 enrollments, just amazing. New consultants, Jacqueline Bowden, Kelly Ibanez, and Yulia Costello. Amazing. Absolutely awesome, you guys. And that's just incredible. I'm so proud of you guys. So I'm going to turn it over shortly to Lauren. But in the meantime, Laura, if you're okay with it, I want to do a quick work it task. And I'd love to just have people, just let people know that have been wanting to try Isagenix. Hey, maybe they've reached out to you and they never completed. Maybe they said, hey, the holidays weren't the right time. Catch me again in January. You guys have those people in your life that you think, hey, let's go run and do this. Send them out a message. Let's just send out a message or two right now and just let people know, this is the perfect timing. The stars are aligned. There's a discount that runs this week, and I don't want you to miss it.
For those of you that were on my opportunity call last night, I told people to turn on their cameras unless they were in the bathroom, driving, or in the shower. Kathy Durnick, I love you. She actually did text me and she was like, I'm in the shower. My camera's not on. It like made me giggle. I was like, thank you. I mean, you're smoking hot, but thank you for keeping your camera off. All right, guys, let's do like, I don't know, 60 more seconds or so. Make sure you get your 2 out. No worries, Alexandra. Hope everything's okay. All right, guys. Just because I lost internet. I told you something happened. You can tell when it's like you cut out and like when you're just not coming back. So let's we'll put a 1 in the chat if you have done the exercise. I'm excited for the sea salt. Me too. Oh my gosh, you guys, I pushed out my otter ship for like the first time in, I don't even know, like I'm so like committed to the 29-day thing, even with like the promo, because I was like, I want all the seasonals so bad. Sometimes they come out and like I only do like the dairy-free shakes, and I'm just like not that excited about white peppermint chocolate or whatever. Me personally, oh my gosh, these crackers and like sea salt like bites, I'm like all over that. And Ryan and I are gonna do the Ice Body Challenge. We're like gonna be cleansing again regularly. I'm super excited about it. So I asked Jess, you guys, it's been a really crazy busy day over here, and I was like stuffing my face right at the time of the call started. And I said, can you please just open this and get it going? And then I will do the thing. Thank you, Anne. I've been pretty excited, pretty fired up for right now. And the double pips on that has me highly, highly motivated. And I would just say too, give part of that away. If you have people on the fence or between packs, like when you do the math and you've already enrolled 1, like give a little back and it will bring people over the edge. So many of you know, oh, by the way, was anybody on the call that I did last night, the opportunity call that I did, the game plan call? Sherry says yes, Ann says yes. I'm doing that tomorrow as well. So it's kind of like second chance, like for those that missed it, like back by popular demand. So if anybody wants to get on that tomorrow, You'll see the flyer come out, same Zoom link, same time, same slides, same everything. It's just because there's a momentum of people and people that couldn't do it Sunday night. So please definitely get on and please spread the word on that. As for tonight's call, many of you know that I am in a thread with a group of gals that I've been doing this for like over 6 years. Laura's one of them, called Podcast Peeps. And we started this, I mean, you guys, I think back in like 2015 or something. I don't even know. But like one day, like Emily Sutherland sends a podcast, like another day Laura does it, another day I do it, right? And there's been a group of us in there for so long. And the only stipulation has ever been that it was 30 minutes or less, and they weren't religious, just so that we were focusing on personal growth or focusing on things that like it affected everybody, right? For people in our thread that weren't necessarily Christian. Anyways, so it has been amazing. And I will tell you that there are a lot of redundancies. Like I'm like, oh, Ed Milet comes through a lot. Like Mel Robbins comes through a lot, right? Like Ed Carmichael, like some things I've listened to, and repetition's great. And I like inspired always. I listen to him, I'm getting ready. And then there's some times that I just am like, damn, like I'm really glad I listened to that, and just like kind of at the right time, or sometimes because they're just so simple and I can see the impact and the simplicity. And so if you guys want this, I'm happy to send the link out. Or Laura, I don't know if you're by your computer or if you're driving. She teaches at the gym sometimes around this time, if you're able to put it in the chat, or I'll get it to Jess and she can send it out to her threads too. But another gal, Jenny Thompson on our team, she's the one that put it in our thread. And it was a TED Talk. And sometimes I'm skeptical because I'm like, oh, people are like on their rant. And like almost immediately, like I love this girl. And she was talking about how her corporate job, you know, whatever she had been doing in the workspace, she was interviewing. She was like the podcast like lead or whatever. And she was interviewing people who had been successful, like top people who are either the first like person of color to do something, women that had done something, like tech people that had innovated something. And she didn't ever really say like who she worked for. And I was trying to think of like, does this woman work for Forbes or like New York Times? Like you could tell it was like a little bit like like high profile who she was interviewing. And she said, what I realized is that there were three things that all these people had in common, or like a trend. And she's trying to say like, you know, what is it that makes this person feel like they can run for the president of the United States and other people not think about it? Or what thinks this person, you know, can make $1 million and other people can't do it? And she noticed a lot of trends, and she noticed, I feel like I'm just going to mute somebody. She was noticing different things. And one of the things that she had in common that she saw was the way that they set goals. And then I was like, oh, I was back to being like, here we go again with goal setting. Because right, like how many times do we hear about goals and all the different ways to do it? And I thought, okay, good thing this thing's only 11 minutes long. Like I'm committed. I'm going to listen to it. Oh, Laura already put the link in here. Laura, you should type in the chat too if you liked it. And I loved it. And what she did, and she said, I want you to get out a piece of paper. So you guys can do this now if you want, or if you want to do it later, you can do it later. And she said, you really just need like a half sheet of paper, like a shoebox piece of paper. And you're going to put it into like three, like rows, like at the top tier, the middle tier, the bottom tier, like three different kind of sections of your shoebox piece of paper. And the first thing that she noticed that these successful people did, that she was telling other people to do, was come up with a very specific goal. And she said it should be so specific that if you were in a room with a bunch of people and like your papers got like shuffled around, that they would know it was yours, right? So it can't be like, oh, I want to feel better. Like what? Like what does that even mean, you know? Or it's like, I want my business to grow. What business? How do you want it to grow? Like, you know, but she said, then it's like, you want to stay in your lane of how specific this is. So if it was something leisure and you say, you know, we're taking the trips to Turks and Caicos this year, you know, if it was something professional and you say, I'm going to grow my business by 25% this year, you know, my Isagenix business. If it was something personal, like I want to contribute anonymously, you know, $10,000 this year, you know, like what was it? And to be really, really specific about it. So some of you know that that I wrote a book a few years ago, and many of you now know that my postpartum journey and delivery was anything about than what I expected. And I've been talking about it, that I want to write a book of like what I didn't know in the 4th trimester that I wish they taught me in birthing class. And I like immediately listened to the podcast. I was like, all right, here's my very specific goal. And like if we passed it around with 20 of us right now, like I don't think anybody else has that on their piece of paper, you know? I did this actually a couple times, and I did it with Isagenix too, specifically. And then as I was doing it with Isagenix, I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do on the team call. So I want you in like 1 or 2 sentences, just something so specific. But if Dawn picked up Stephanie's or Stephanie picks up Sherry's, even if you don't know them well enough to know who they are, like Anne's is so clear for her, right? Julie's is so clear for her. Jessica's is so clear for her of what the specific goal is. So maybe you say, I want to enroll 50 people in 2025. Maybe you say, I want to create 2 executives and I want, to create 10 consultants, or I want to make $75,000 in my business. I want to make $130,000. I want to make 25,000. I want to make 250, like just something to get really specific. So that was the first part. The second is she said that she realized that people took priority action. And I really leaned into this because I am someone that preaches all the time to my clients that entrepreneurs are the best. I mean, if we could get paid to do this, we'd all be gazillionaires, but we're the best at being busy and sometimes the worst at being productive, right? It's like, I checked my email, I posted on social media, I listened to a podcast, like, I liked everybody else's post, I did all the things. And it's like, did you call one person? Like, did you like actually send the text or whatever it is? And the way that she described this of taking priority action, like actually breaking down your plan. So if, we were to say, I want to make $100,000 in Isagenix in 2025. Okay, well, then you need to make $25,000 a quarter, right? Then you need to make what, like $8,000 a month. Okay, well, then how many cycles do I need to hit? How much do I need to make in the team builder bonus? Like, what do I need to do for double pivots? And you start to reverse engineer the plan that you go, okay, if I'm going to enroll 10 people in a month, I need to talk to 10 people to have an enrollment. That means I need to talk to 100 people. Okay, well, over the course, you're not going to sit down right on February 1st and call your whole 100 people for the month. So it's like, okay, do I call 25 people in a week? Can I message 5 people a day? And you start to see the simplicity that the consistent action, having discipline, yields these like big, audacious, amazing goals. But you also can start to see what like sets the 1% apart from the 99%. Because to message 5 people a day, like is not hard. Like we all have done way harder things, to send 5 texts on like, hey, you came across my mind. I think you'd be great at what I do. Are you open to chatting? Hey, you popped in my feed. I see you're into health and wellness. It may or may not be for you. Are you up for a chat? Right? Like, I mean, those both took me like 8 seconds to do. But think about how many people aren't going to do it. So we're back to like what sets this 1% apart. So then when it's like, oh, network marketing, didn't work for me, or you see people leaving companies or whatever, and it's like, the people that making $100,000 a year, here's what I can tell you. Erica Rothenberger messages 5 people a day. We all get them by 4 o'clock in the morning, Ann does, Holly does, Laura does, Jess does, like this consistency. Ashley DeChico, I mean, many of you do in just this simple task. And you say, can I message people 5 people a day, 5 days a week for the next 52 weeks? And just think about what your business would look like, So she was like, get clear on at least 3 priority actions. Same with weight loss, right? Drink your shakes, do your cleanse days, and walk 10,000 steps. It's going to work. But how many people are going to like eat their Egg McMuffin, not have a shake, forget to walk, and like blow their cleanse day, right? It has nothing to do with the 30-day. It's just like what sets the successful people apart. So getting clear on your priority actions. Then the third piece at the very bottom of the piece was, what's your community? And she actually was like visually saying, like, if you took that lower tier and then kind of put it into 2 parts. So it's like row 1, row 2, and then your third row, you have like a left and a right side. And the first part of the community was like, who are your cheerleaders? Like, who are just people that believe in you? Who are people that uplift you? Who are people that celebrate you? Who are there for the wall kicking moments? So, when I text Jess, I'm like, hey, so I've sent 50 texts, in the last couple of days, and nobody's, text me back. And she's like, great, go get an e-shot and send 50 more. Right? She's not going to be like, yeah, you suck. You should probably like never sell Isagenix again. Right? Like you want to be around some people that are really encouraging and people that are really uplifting. I want someone like my husband when I say, hey, I'm not having a glass of Prosecco and we are not watching a show until I've read my 10 pages, and I've messaged my 5 people a day. Like I want someone like when I sit down, he's like, hey, you want your glass of Prosecco? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, have you read your 10 pages? Like, have you messaged your 5 people? Like, I want that. Right? But the other piece of this that I thought was so awesome was it was about putting yourself in the arena with people who had already done it. Surrounding yourself with people who are successful, that could teach you the ways, that could help you skip the headaches, shortcut the mistakes, give you the path to success. And what I have found is the most successful people I know are often the most giving because they have the most abundant mindset. right? Like, so I have a client right now. She has a custom cake and cupcake business. For those of you that don't know, I coach female entrepreneurs. And I said, why don't you reach out to a couple other like of these people and ask what they did and get, and she was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna think I'm stealing their stuff. And I said, no, they're not. You know, I said, are you crazy? Like I said, every Starbucks is busy and they want to give advice to everybody. Howard Schultz is a public speaker all around the world because he wants to help people. He's not worried that if he gives a tip of how to make the best gingerbread latte, that somebody else is gonna do it, right? And so I'm also, many of you know, working with Gina DeVee, and I hear her talk about when she first got started, she threw herself in the room. She was like, I was a nobody. I was like Gina from Detroit, like who wanted to hear anybody, you know, listen to anything I said. But she put herself in the front row of a T.H. Harvard. What's that guy's name? The guy that wrote Secrets to the Millionaire Mind. I always screw up his initials of his name. But like in his, thank you.
T.R. Baker.
Like, you know, his seminar, she ended up in the front row. I mean, she started just putting herself in the room with shakers and movers and was like, if they can do it, I can do it. Because there was this belief, right? It's not a matter of like when it's going to happen. It's like, I will until, you know, and you've heard Jess and I say that all the time. Like when I was like going to go executive, when we were going to make 6 figures in this, sure, we had goals. We wanted to hit the Crystal Executive bonus, but I wasn't like, if I'm not a Crystal Executive, you know, in 3 months, I'm quitting. Like mine was like, I'll do whatever it takes to get executive and I'm never falling out, right? Like it's a different mindset. You guys have heard me say when Isagenix came around and, you know, I told Janny, like, I'll never not be on auto ship. And I'm like, I'm here for 10 years. And she was like, 10, like what? Like, that's like so unrealistic. I think she thought I was crazy. And I said, that's how long it took me to get 2 bachelors, 2 masters in debt. And like, didn't want to have anything that I was doing. I said, so if I can turn this around in 10 years, like I'm here for it. Right. It happened a lot faster. But anyways, all that to be said, when you're in the room with successful people, when you are hanging out with people who have already done it, they can give you the path, they can give you the clues. And so circling back to everything tonight, if we're talking about Isagenix, you have these goals, and then you do this priority action, you do your power hours, you're doing your messages, you do your posts, you're committed to having an event. Like, what if you guys just did an event like every 90 days? Like you don't have to do them every week, like just every 90 days. You say each quarter, each season this year, I'm going to do it in home in my house. Many of you are going to do more events than you've ever had in your whole Isagenix business, you know, but things like that. And then it's like, who's this community of people? And I want you guys to write down, she didn't say this, this is my twist. Who are your top 3 cheerleaders? You know, who's your top 3 support team? Who are your top 3? Like, no matter what, they're going to like hype you up and be your cosmic cheerleader. And then who are your top 3? Like, if I could spend the day with them, this would change my business. If I could spend the day with them, I would learn so much. You know, if I could spend the day with them, and how do you hang out with those people more? You know, Hillary and Tristan, they don't have to do what they're doing for the company, but like that joy, that excitement, that passion that they have, they want to do it. We get to learn from people who are making 7 figures a year. Like, why not, you know, hop on that? When I first started working with Emily Sutherland, I remember her saying, and this was during the pandemic, people were weird with masks and all the things, you know, and she was like, I just want to be around you. And I was like, what? And she was like, I just need to listen to you and hear you. Like, I just want to come spend the day with me. And we lived like an hour away. I was like, what do you want to do? Like, I don't work Isagenix all day long. And she was like, I just know if I spend the day with you, I'm going to absorb like so much more. And she came up. You guys, Emily's business skyrocketed. Shortly after that, Stephanie Dunn was living in California. And she's like, I want to do what Emily Sutherland did. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, I want to spend the day with you. And I was like, you don't even live in Colorado. And she's like, are you cool if I come visit? And I was like, sure. And like, she spent 2 days with me. But in hindsight, Jess and I did that with Janny and Cindy. We were like, can you imagine if we just could like hang out in their kitchen and like imagine the conversations they used to have with Kelly Dickerhoof? And like, we just wanted to be around Janny. It was like, if we, yep, Laura said that's why she invited me to Jersey. I did. Laura said, come here. And I said, what am I going to do in Jersey? And she's like, you know, and Janny said, go. Someone's inviting you there, go. It's absolutely true. And so when you're thinking about that, you know, whether it's Kelly Dickerhoof, okay, you might not go spend the day with Kelly Dickerhoof, but start listening to her YouTube trainings, you know, start getting on her calls. Maybe you absolutely drive what Hillary is doing. Great. She's training the whole company. And here I will tell you, both Jess and I are 7-figure income earners with this company, right? We went executive in record time. We've never fallen out. We both sit on, at any given time, 15, 20, 30 consultants. That I say that because we know what we're doing. So if you have this audacious goal and you've got some priority action and you want someone to hang out with, you text any one of us and say, hey, will you do a power hour with me? Hey, will you message a few people with me? Hey, will you show me what scripts you're sending right now? Hey, do you care if I steal your post? Here's what I can tell you with an astounding 1000% yes. The answer is yes. We want to be around hot molecules, whether we personally enrolled you, whether you're 100,000 levels down into our business, we want to run with speed. It's sexy and it's fun. So I hope that you guys got a little bit of something out of this. I would love, love, love for you to take your piece of paper. And if you didn't do it, look, Jess is all like filled out. Do one for fun. Like do like this now that you know what to do with like a leisure goal, a personal goal, right? And really get clear on your business. And I would love to have some accountability for in Jess's group or Jess's thread, post it, and in my group or my thread, who are your 3 like success stars is what I want to call them on that community page. Not your cosmic cheerleaders, but the 3, like if I could hang out with these people, if I could learn from them, if I can listen to them, this would change my Isagenix business and allow us to either introduce you to them, allow us to guide you to some of where their trainings are, you know, how to plug in because you're making a commitment that you're going to grow and your 2025 Isagenix business is going to be amazing. So thank you, Jessica, for starting the call tonight. I'm sorry, you guys, I was shoving food in my face like as fast as I could. I am so excited for the corporate calls. And I'm really excited for an earlier time. So make sure everybody knows. We'll see you next week at 7:30 Eastern. Let's go have some awesome. Oh,
Don't
Jessica.
forget tomorrow at noon. Don't forget tomorrow at noon, product drops. I don't want you to miss out. If the Hokey Pokey sells out, we warned you. It could go quickly. That annoys me when it does, but I'm not gonna say it's outside the question. Do you agree, Laura?
Agree, 100%.
I feel like Hokey Pokey is a crowd favorite to just know, don't sleep on it. Literally, the alarm goes off at 11:59. I'm there with the finger on the button for Hokey Pokey because Avery needs it at college too. She's informed me. So guys, sorry, Laura, to steal that thunder, but
No,
that was
not at all.
call. Thank you
Bye, you
guys.
guys. We'll see you next
Tomorrow.
week, earlier time. Sleep well.
Sleep well. Good night, guys.